the hero we'll talk about in a moment, what it looked like to him from within a UN bureaucracy, what it looked like to him as a citizen of the world.
Sure. Well, first, let me say it's great to be back. I've had a rough month. Self-inflicted. Very rough month. And so it's like a warm bath. I just wish I could turn the clock back. And for the last time we were here, and then do everything else the same, and then just do one little thing. So I'm sorry for those of you who I disappointed with my big mouth and my Irish temper. And I think we have an embarrassment of riches as Democrats and as people loyal to the principles upheld in this building in this election race. And anyway, it's great to be an American these days. Let me just say one word about the subtitle. I was on my kind of, I almost canceled my book tour because I was so crestfallen about everything that had happened and so embarrassed. But I decided, actually thanks to Senator Obama, I just said, what are you doing? You can't do that. You've got to get out there, and you worked on the book for all that time, and come on. And so he was amazing through all this. And I originally, I was supposed to be on Stephen Colbert last week, and I had canceled in the wake of my blunder. And Obama said, no, you got to, so I called back, and they took me back, and so I was on Monday night, but I was very worried that I would be seen to be making light of Monstergate, but anyway, so they actually gave me a little hint of what the questions would be and how just a couple of them. They ended up changing the questions and not using them. But one of the questions was going to be, so you read this book about this incredible guy. This wasn't the question that he asked, but this amazing guy, and you think that there are all these lessons in this person's life that we can learn from, and wouldn't it be easier if he had a different name? Like, didn't you think about just cutting off the last name and just calling him Sergio? So I thought that was, he didn't ask the question. But it is something that I grapple with, because in one of my beliefs, and we talked about this briefly before, but is that we're lacking for contemporary realistic heroes. And I say hero kind of a little bit ambivalently because Sergio's so flawed like all of us, but we're lacking. We talk a great game about transnational threats and saving the world, even saving the planet, saving the ice caps, saving each of us, countries from terrorism, nuclear proliferation. We talk a good game, but we don't have very many models, for people who've actually gone out and are operating in the real world where the saving needs doing. So here is, the world that needs saving that he addresses is sub-state threats in a way. It's not all too successful states or big, kind of you sunk my battleship kind of states or that kind of conflict, but it's failing states, it's crumbling infrastructure, it's lawlessness, it's under-governed spaces, to use the military new parlance. Sometimes it's genocidal states, or states that see a minority in another country and say, why should we be a minority in your country when you can be a minority in ours? It seems to be an impulse, but it's the murky kind of gray zones, as Primo Levi likes to describe it, and transnational and sort of sub-state, and that we have a guy who inhabited that space for 34 years. It was just too important a space to inhabit, and we were all, I felt, you and I both, like we're all coming and trying to catch up and trying to learn, because I live as a citizen of a state. You were serving the country in a range of different ways, and you were trying to orient the state for the challenges, sub-state and transnational. But here's a guy who tried to extract from the U.S. government, extract from the South African government, extract from the Jordanian, the Japanese, et cetera, to just get just enough national interest from each of the countries within the UN to deal with these kinds of challenges without so triggering their national interests that they came to engage with these kinds of challenges simply for their own sake. It's that fine an incredibly fine line. So my feeling was it's a little tongue-in-cheek, the fight to save the world, in that I think, Sergio would have said that quite ironically. But on the other hand, I don't think he would have done what he did if he didn't feel like the mortal stakes were the ones that were worth putting his own life on the line. And he was in like 14 war zones over the course of a 34-year career. And the main thing about him is he had a head start thinking about something that we are coming to as citizens and as leaders, I think, too late. Not too late, but later than would have been good and judicious. And so would it be better if, given the mistakes he made, if we could somehow maybe preempt those mistakes or short-circuit them, lower the gradient of the learning curve by walking in his footsteps. Maybe, he strays in that direction. We could sort of stray virtually on an airplane rather than having to stray and lose 4,000 lives, or stray and appease, or stray and, think that actors can be trusted who can't be trusted, or think that because someone can't be trusted, they can't be engaged. There's so many things that he's done over the course of that life that if we go ahead as a superpower and make those same mistakes, the cost will be greater than we can afford, it seems to me right now.